What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You know who I am. Welcome back to another episode of Film Stock Reviews. In this episode, I'm reviewing The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. It is the 8th installment in the Conjuring universe and the 3rd in the Conjuring movies. First being The Conjuring in 2013 and The Conjuring 2 in 2016. Now, the previous movies were directed by James Wan, but James Wan does not return to direct this movie. Michael Chaves, who directed The Curse of La Llorona in his feature film debut, does direct this one. And Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga do return as Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, the 3rd entry in the Conjuring movies, The Devil Made Me Do It, takes place in 1981 and tells the trial of Arnie Johnson, who is on trial for the murder of his landlord. And the reason for that is because he claims that it was all due to demonic possession. Now, right off from the bat, I'm very surprised at how this movie started. It started with an exorcism, and it just goes right into it. And there is a lot of homage and callbacks to The Exorcist from 1973. And if you don't know what I mean, you'll understand it, because there is a scene where the priest arrives to the house in the beginning of this movie, and it's very reminiscent of how Father Merrin was introduced in The Exorcist. And it goes on, and you can see subtle details of how The Exorcist played a role in the opening scene of this movie. Once that happens, things calm down a little bit. Things are slow, but then they, build in tension. And that's what this movie is. This movie is supernatural horror tension. This movie is not scary. I want to just let that out right now. This movie is not scary at all. It's a psychological horror film, put it that way. We understand how certain elements of jump scares work. We understand that. We know that the Conjuring movies are known for that. And certain lighting details and certain aspects of how Michael Chaves captured James Wan's filmmaking and cinematography, because the way certain things are done and reminiscent, you see, and if you remember certain scenes from The Conjuring, we are revisited with that in The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. There are a lot of great scenes in this, and I can't give it away because it's so unique and different that Michael Chaves just did his own thing. And what a way to be, introduced into the Conjuring universe, than directing this movie, but then also directing a movie that is also based in the universe, being that the movie is The Curse of La Llorona. Hey, everything connects. Now, the timeline of this movie is 1981, so far right now, it is the last movie in the timeline by year. The first movie being The Nun, that kickstarted off everything back in 1951, 1952, based on chronological timeline-wise on how the movies go and how the story is done. We do see the artifact room in this movie. We see the painting of Valak from The Conjuring 2, who is the nun. We see Annabelle make her, cameo appearance in front of the screen as usual, which is fantastic and interesting. But other than that, what really grabbed this movie and made it powerful was the storytelling. We don't know what to expect at all, but as this movie progressed in time and as you're watching, you are pulled in, and it's great. And there's a scene where we are introduced to a priest, Katzner, and played by John Noble. If you didn't know, John Noble played in Fringe, and John Noble is a phenomenal, underrated actor. Seeing him in the Conjuring movie, wow, was great. And he has a backstory that is interesting, but yet surprising as well, and it plays a pivotal role in the movie, near the end of the movie. But what really stood out, and not only is this movie supernatural horror, psychological horror, it's also a love story. Yes, I said it's a love story, because Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine Warren really knock it out of the ballpark, and they have great chemistry together as Ed and Lorraine Warren. And in this movie, it really shows. Not only are they helping other families and family members try and cope with loss or trying to help them find out what's happening, they themselves are trying to keep it together. This movie is an investigation case where we see Ed and Lorraine Warren try and figure out what's happening to this family, why it's happening. And not only that, there are connections to this as well. So it's really interesting to see how this all plays out. And I want to say some of the scares in this were different, unique. Of course, everyone knows the waterbed scene that they've seen in the movie trailer, but if you see it in this movie, it's very different. There's a scene that takes place in the morgue. It is creepy as hell. There's a scene that takes place underground in the tunnels. Another way of just being really creepy. And of course, they did the classic, someone you see is who they are, all of a sudden the camera pulls in and then it changes to a different person. The Conjuring movies have done that. Annabelle's done that, and now they did this with this one, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This movie is a fun watch. If you're a fan of the Conjuring movies like I am, you'll really enjoy this movie. For me, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It gets 5 out of 5 stars. I liked it for the storytelling, the acting, and how much of a pace it had. Now, the movie was released in theaters and on HBO Max simultaneously, June 4th, 2021. It does come under 2 hours long, so it's a quick watch. And like I said, if you're a fan of the movies and the universe like I am, check this out. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? And what did you think about the title of the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And do you think that you should have just called it The Conjuring 3? I think they should have just called it The Conjuring 3 because I think The Devil Made Me Do It aspect being the subtitle of it was just a little too much of a push, instead of a pull. So hey, it worked in my opinion, so we'll see what happens. So let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new videos on my channel. And you know where to follow Marchio Productions and me, Mr. Filmstock. I'll leave a link to all the social media accounts in the description box below. You guys can check it out and follow along. I'm Anthony. Thanks for tuning in.